Spider-Man has had several small and big screen adaptations over the years, and this one remains one of the best. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Spider-Man the Animated Series episodes.
Yo, Chrome Dome! The lady didn't finish her latte!
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the best story arcs from the series. As such, some entries may include multiple episodes that cover one major storyline. Number 10, Morbius / Enter the Punisher / Duel of the Hunters. This story arc features Peter Parker sprouting 4 extra arms, appearances by the Punisher, Michael Morbius, Kraven the Hunter, and the infamous Man-Spider.
No! No!
Believing that Spider-Man is a criminal, the Punisher attempts to capture him. At the same time, Spidey is searching for a cure to fix his mutation, only for it to accelerate and turn him into the deadly Man-Spider. Featuring several awesome fight scenes and a great cliffhanger, where we are left wondering how Peter is going to survive, this is definitely a standout in the overall series.
Thank you for giving me back my life.
Number 9, The Return of Hydro Man, Parts 1 and 2. As the main love interest of Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, Mary Jane Watson is in severe danger several times throughout the series, such as when a bomb thrown by the Green Goblin causes her to fall off George Washington Bridge in Turning Point.
No! It's okay, my love. Everything's going to be fine.
It's this two-parter that makes our list, however, as it teases us with a glimpse of a potentially powerful Mary Jane, only to rip our hearts out with one of the most emotional scenes in the series as she turns to vapor in Spider-Man's arms. It's impressive how an animated show with a limited runtime can generate so much tension and emotion.
If any part of me is anything like the real Mary Jane Watson, she loves Peter Parker more than anything in the world. More than anything.
No!
Number 8, Night of the Lizard. We go all the way back to the pilot for the next entry on our list.
It's time I paid her back. And if I can't,
It's $1,000 bonus.
Spider-Man will.
This episode does a fantastic job establishing the characters of both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and also introduces us to one of his greatest villains, the Lizard. The main storyline, featuring the Lizard attempting to turn everyone in the city into reptiles, is strong enough. But this show also introduces Eddie Brock and subtly initiates the rivalry between him and Spider-Man. While this may seem like a minor detail, it does a great job setting up a future episode on this list.
And what's Eddie Brock going to end up with? An exclusive story nobody's ever going to believe.
Number 7, Blade the Vampire Hunter / The Immortal Vampire. One of the best parts of the MCU is seeing all our favorite Marvel heroes interacting with each other across various films. Spider-Man the Animated Series did this way back in the 90s, however, as numerous Marvel heroes and villains were featured on the show, including Blade.
Who are you? What do you want with me? Call me Blade. And all I want, vampire, is to destroy you.
After some initial hostilities between the pair, Spidey and Blade team up to track down the vampire Morbius. These two episodes do an equally impressive job showing the hardships Peter faces, as his aunt is kidnapped and he neglects Mary Jane, sending her into the arms of Harry Osborn.
Peter, with you it's always a little later.
One of the best things this show does is humanize Peter, as clearly evident here. Number 6, The Insidious 6 / Battle of the Insidious 6. What better way to start the second season than by having Spidey face 6 of his toughest enemies teamed up together while losing his powers at the same time?
I'm losing my spider powers!
The Insidious 6 consists of Doc Ock, Chameleon, Rhino, Shocker, Mysterio, and Scorpion, and they actually capture and unmask the web-slinger at one point. Peter is forced to prove that there is more to Spider-Man than just the wall-crawling and web-shooting, and he does so through his wit and indomitable spirit, which is what makes him so endearing to comic book fans.
Calm down, Rhino. It's me, the Chameleon. I'm only looking this way so I can get close enough to grab the old man.
Number 5, The Mutant Agenda / Mutants' Revenge. Another crossover with famous Marvel heroes, this episode sees Spider-Man teaming up with the X-Men, and in particular, Wolverine. After some initial hostilities, of course.
How about we go digging for an explanation?
What an interesting plan, but how about this one?
It almost becomes a buddy comedy with two complete opposites working together to rescue Beast. Considering X-Men was a terrific cartoon as well, it's no surprise that this episode was a smash hit. This episode also features the Hobgoblin as a villain, who is voiced by Mark Hamill, which alone makes the episode worth watching.
Do it and lose everything. Go on. I dare you.
Number 4, Secret Wars, Parts 1, 2, and 3. This is every comic book fan's dream. A huge lineup of famous heroes against famous villains. Spider-Man is transported to another dimension by Madame Web for an experiment to see whether good or evil is stronger. Starring for the villains is Dr. Octopus, Dr. Doom, the Lizard, the Red Skull, and Alistair Smith. Spidey responds by bringing in the Fantastic Four, Captain America, Iron Man, and Storm. While the events in this episode don't have any lasting effects per se,
You have won. Good has triumphed over evil. You will all be returned to your rightful places on Earth, and you will retain no memory of this event.
it's pretty cool to see an all-star lineup of heroes and villains square off against each other.
But here I am, fighting alongside one of the greatest heroes of all time.
Yeah, Cap is quite a...
I wasn't talking about Cap. You, Spider. You're quite a leader.
Number 3, Venom Returns / Carnage. Just when you think Venom had been defeated for good, he returns with a vengeance.
Together again. We knew it wasn't a delusion.
This two-part storyline also introduces us to Cletus Cassidy, who eventually becomes Carnage. Carnage and Venom quickly team up and easily overcome Spider-Man and War Machine, only for Venom to turn on Carnage.
Stop! Spider-Man is ours, and ours alone.
The second episode sees an awesome trio of Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Venom attempting to track down and destroy Carnage. Considering how powerful of a villain he is, it's rather refreshing to see Venom, and more specifically Eddie Brock, get a redemptive storyline.
He may have been my greatest enemy, but in the end, he proved to be my greatest ally.
Number 2, Spider-Wars, Parts 1 and 2. Following the Secret Wars storyline, Madame Web again sends Spidey into another dimension.
How long have I been gone? What's happened here?
This time, New York City has been overrun by Spider-Carnage, the Green Goblin, and the Hobgoblin. This story arc is the perfect conclusion to the series, as Spidey is forced to use everything he has learned to overcome true evil and self-doubt. He teaches the audience a valuable lesson about being true to yourself and standing up for what's right.
Because I've learned time and time again that with great power, there must also come great responsibility.
It also features an awesome cameo by Stan Lee and the promise of a reunion with Mary Jane.
Where to now?
Face front, true believer. We are going to find the real Mary Jane Watson.
What?
It has been a long, hard journey, and I think you are finally entitled to some happiness.
Amen to that, dear lady. Amen to that.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I have questions, all right. Like, who is this phony freak? And how'd I get caught up in this mess anyway?
Behind this mask is the face of a friend.
We found it. The tablet of time. Tell me, Spider-Man, how'd you find me?
I followed the slime trail.
Number 1, The Alien Costume, Parts 1, 2, and 3. This story arc had been building from the very first episode of the series, as we mentioned earlier.
Where did you come from?
Jersey.
Got a claim check for that bag?
Check this.
It features Spider-Man in his new black costume, having to overcome the alien symbiote that was wreaking havoc on his own psyche. It also brings in Venom, one of the most iconic villains in all of Marvel.
Enjoy the fame while it lasts.
We see how powerful the symbiote is and how much it impacts both Peter and Eddie Brock.
You don't understand, Brock. It doesn't just bond with you, it takes over. Makes you do what it wants.
It is also very faithful to the comics, impressing even the most die-hard comic book fans. All in all, this remains one of the best adaptations of Venom to date.
Who said we hate you? Fact is, we're your biggest fan.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.